Good morning, y'all. Good morning, good morning. Gotta get my training in before the day starts. I'm in my second part now, my cardio part of the day, or the morning training, I should say. I did my other stuff beforehand, and feeling pretty good right now. The weather's not super duper hot right now, so it's a good day to get out here right now. Just get the heart rate up, burn some more of the calories, burn some more of that stuff. All right, gotta stay lean and fit, man. And I can't wear my Mike Tyson Brooklyn shirt and not put in the work, man. Gotta pay homage to the man, Mike Tyson. One of the greatest heavyweights ever. Give it a few minutes for those, if anybody wants to hop on. Good morning. Doing our early morning rise with the gang. Early morning talk about a little bit about the home run derby last night, and just some insights about post All-Star break for the Yankees. I don't know if you heard the interview yesterday. I saw it, but I did. I saw the interview with Eugenio Suarez about the potential of being traded to the Yankees and his comments thereafter. It was encouraging. It was nice. It was a pleasant surprise. Now, I think he knows too. It's better than a 50% chance he's going to get moved, right? He's going to get moved. My guess is it'll probably be to the Yankees or the Tigers. The Tigers need... Well, the Tigers are still playing well, but if they bring in a big bat or a big arm or both, they're going to be the favorites in the American League, in my view. So the Yankees need to act decisively at this deadline. We're still a little bit more than 2 weeks away from the deadline, so there's still time for these guys to negotiate behind the scenes and blah blah blah. We know that the teams that are currently hold the valuable assets are not going to rush. They're going to want teams to come in and overpay for their assets. That's just the way that it goes. That's why it's a seller's market, right? This is supply and demand. It's basic economic principles. We have a few minutes for anybody who wants to hop in. Just let me know you're here. Say good morning. Good morning to you. Maybe some folks are sleeping a little bit later this morning too. Because of the home run derby. I went late last night. But it was fun. I don't know if you saw too, my guy Hector from Uptown Sports, Yankees Morning Brew, was there. He caught a ball. One of the home run balls by Junior Caminero. So shout out to my guy Hector. He was reporting live at the left field kind of platform there, where a lot of folks were just waiting for the home runs to be hit by the righty bats, and he got one by Junior Caminero. So shout out to my guy Hector. And it's a good job. But post All-Star break, well, first of all, congratulations to Cal Raleigh for winning the home run derby. This is the guy that leads majors in home runs right now, right? He's got 38 at the All-Star break. So the only guy that's had more than him at the All-Star break was Barry Bonds. He got 39. I think that was the year he had 73. So, yeah, he could go on a tear, but I'm not comparing him to Barry Bonds. I mean, that Barry Bonds year was unforgettable. But I wouldn't be surprised if Raleigh challenged Aaron Judge's American League record of 62, right? And so there's that. He also has challenged Mickey Mantle's switch hitter record of 54. and Ken Griffey's Seattle Mariners record, which I think is 56. So he's got a couple of milestones ahead of him that he can shoot towards, right? So he won. Congratulations to him. Junior Caminero was runner-up. And so it was American League celebration here. I'm hoping that the American League wins the All-Star game today, too. We'll see. And we did hear from some reporting that Gleyber Torres is going to lead off tonight. So Aaron Judge is going to bat third. So there's that, too. But All-Star game is the All-Star game. You know, it's players from all over the place. All different teams, so. And morning. It's going to be fun regardless. But there's no baseball games that are going to be played in Major Leagues until Friday. So there will be a couple of days break. And I'll be live. I'll be on a live panel with the Ace Avenue, NFE, and the Strike Zone today. Live, and him and I are going to go live on his channel. So if you're not subscribed to the Strike Zone, make sure you do that. We're going to just break down the Yankees' first 2 picks. And again, they made 19 picks. The draft was yesterday and the day before, right? The Yankees made 19 picks, not 20, because they forfeited the second-round pick to sign Max Fried, right? Of the 19 picks, 17 of them were college players. One of them was a JUCO player, and one of them was a high school player. And that was their top pick, Dax Kilby at number 39. And of those players that they drafted, 6 of them were shortstops. So, like, you know, initial reaction is, man, do they not see Volpe as part of their future plans, right? That could be part of that, one narrative. But also keep in mind, shortstop players that are drafted tend to be the most versatile. They could be the ones to move to third and to second. And already hearing that Dax Kilby, that within a year, he's most likely going to be transitioned over to second base, right? He's a shortstop now. He's one of the better, more polished high school bats. He also bats from the lefty side. He was their pick at 39. Their second pick was Keenan Kent, which is Jeff Kent's son, another infielder, another lefty bat from college. I think it was Texas A&M. So he also has the ability to move around the infield. Could he be part of it? And he was a college senior. So his path to the majors is probably, you know, not as long as these other guys are. But drafting 6 shortstops also, I think it tells me, at least, and let me know if you agree, if it tells you. Good morning, JT. Let me know if it tells you the same. One, that 6 of them tells me that they're likely going to be trading a couple of shortstops heading into the trade deadline as part of package or whatnot. Roderick Arias, I think, is one of them because he's blocked by George Lard. And then I forgot his name. Stanier, I think. The number 13 prospect. He's also a shortstop who was the top international player last year, but he's only 16 years old. See, he is probably a half a decade away from the majors. So we have guys the Yankees drafted in the last 2 days that are going to be closer than him. So he's a highly touted prospect. And for a team that's looking for good developing players, he might be a valuable asset in a trade package. We'll see. And beyond that, we don't know. You know, is George Lombard being groomed to replace him? We have no idea. That's another narrative, right? So, but keep in mind, Anthony Volpe isn't a league average shortstop. So he's not the bust everybody says he is. Defensively, he's not having a good year. There's no doubt about it, which is why I think it's going to be wise for the Yankees to get a third baseman who can actually field. Now, speaking of third base, I don't know if you heard, Eugenio Suarez got interviewed yesterday at the All-Star break. And he was asked, there's a lot of talk about you being traded to the Yankees. What do you think about that? And so on and so forth. And he said, confident, you know, the Yankees is a winning organization, a culture there that he likes, a team that's always, you know, competing to win. And then he said also, if I get traded to the Yankees, I'm going to do my best to help the Yankees win the World Series. So he said the right things. He definitely said the right things. And I don't know if that's going to be a template to or precursor to a future trade. No idea. We'll see. But his bat, obviously, I mean, there's only his he's the only bat that might be available at the trade deadline that moves the needle that much for the Yankees. But if they go, because I'm hearing that they're also tied to Ryan McMahon and Brian Hayes too. Those guys don't have as robust as Suarez does, obviously. But those guys are attached to longer contracts too. So I don't know what that bears for George Lombard or how that might affect him. We have no idea, right? That would provide more protection defensively for Anthony Volpe, yes. Would Jazz Chisholm second? Yes, but if we just don't know. I mean, they look to upgrade at third base, but are they looking for a bat first or are they looking for a glove first? And I think a lot of it's going to come down to what the price is going to be, right? So there's that. And the Yankee trade deadline is 2 weeks away. But I'll say this too. I don't know if you remember, but the Yankees stumbled out of the All-Star break last year. Stumbled. They were just tripping on their dicks and their face and everything, right? So they need to come out the All-Star break stronger than they did last year, in my opinion. They're in Atlanta for the first series after this game. So Jazz will have familiarity, Judge will have familiarity, as will Rodon, and so on. Don't know how much of a difference that's going to make, but those guys will be already there, acclimated. They'll probably stay in Georgia. There's not a game that's going to be played until Friday. So maybe Aaron Boone will stay there with them. I don't know how they're going to do this. But nevertheless, they need to come out of the All-Star break stronger than they did last year. And let that be a springboard to win some more series. They're 10 games over 500 now at the All-Star break. I think they're 53 and 43 if I'm not mistaken. But a lot of folks are, thinking that they're a fifth place team, or reacting as if they're 15 games under 500, which they aren't. So this happens par for the course with so many teams. The Boston Red Sox have won 10 straight, yes. The Dodgers have lost, 7 straight? So teams go on streaks. And I'm going to continue to say this, the American League East is not a weak division. Despite people saying NL West is the only strong. No, they're not. Okay? No, they're not. They are a strong division, yes. But do not discount the American League East no matter what you do. And speaking of American League East, the Tampa Bay Rays, their owner, sold the franchise yesterday. Well, it becomes official in September, right? So, but can you imagine what the team, that franchise can do with a little bit more payroll flexibility? They already draft well, they develop well, domestically and internationally. Could you imagine if they get a little bit more payroll wiggle room? So I would watch out for the Rays also, not only the Red Sox. But keep in mind too, it can be top prospects. Like people, a lot of folks are poo-pooing Spencer Jones. He's not part of the top 100 prospects. We have to trade him. Well, neither was Aaron Judge. He wasn't a top 100 prospect either. But he's displaying stuff right now offensively, Spencer Jones, that no one else is. Okay? And I would not package him in a trade for a rental player. I wouldn't do it. And just to put in perspective, Jackson Holliday was the number 1 prospect in all baseball 2 years ago. He got called up, he stunk. Right? This past year, Roman Anthony from the Boston Red Sox, number 1 prospect in all baseball, called up, he stunk. Here he got sent back down. Right? Jackson Holliday gets sent down twice before he's up now. Now that he's acclimating a little bit better, but just because Spencer Jones is not on the top 100 prospects list doesn't mean he's a bust. Doesn't mean he stinks. Okay? That's not gospel. It might be for some, but it's not gospel for everybody, the top 100 prospects list. Okay? The fact of the matter is, and this is not a shot to George Lombard at all, because I'm excited about him too, but he's, number 18? And you compare his stats to Spencer Jones, even at the AA level, not even close. Not even close. So, just something to keep in mind. This is why I wouldn't rely on, Baseball America talking points, or Beat Writer talking points, or WFAN talking points, and run with it as your argument. Especially when stuff like this just is an easy counterpoint to arguments. Right? Good morning, gang. Who's that? Beagle? Hold on. I'm walking briskly, so I'll be wrapping up my cardio shortly. This morning was MOTK. You know what that is? Morning of 1,000 kicks. So I did all my kicks before I came out here. Your axe kicks, your scissor kicks, your front kicks, your roundhouse kicks, crescent kicks, inside to outside, outside to inside, back kicks, side kicks, 360 jump spinning wheel kicks. I did all that stuff before I came out here. So that's every Tuesday morning. Morning 1,000 kicks. Clockwork. All right? Got to keep the kicks crisp. Got to keep them fast. Got to keep them violent. Right? You never know when you're going to need to deploy them. And you got to be visually effective. You got to know what the hell the target is. All right? Instead of trying being Jean-Claude Van Damme, a person like me could catch those kicks, intercept it, and turn it into a ground game. That's why, as a martial arts practitioner and instructor, it's my one piece of advice: if you can't kick super high with a lot of speed, keep the kicks mid-level and down. Use your hands for above that. It's much easier. Much easier. Especially when you have somebody who knows how to defend themselves. But back to baseball. So, you give me your takes, gang. Did you watch the Jerk? Yeah, Jazz Chisholm, he only hit 3 home runs. Okay. But it is what it is. I just hope he comes out of the gate strong. Right? I'd rather the Yankees suck at the All-Star break, but be really good afterward. Any player, I mean, do I hope Aaron Judge plays well? Yeah, of course. If Rodon goes in and plays, yeah. Any Yankee that comes into the game, hope he plays well. But I'm more concerned about what they do after the All-Star break. I want to make sure. And thankfully, Jazz Chisholm didn't get, 80 swings, right? Because who knows about, if Rowley's swing is going to be affected a little bit, or Junior Camaro's swing, or some of these other guys, right? Brian Buxton. We just don't know. No. Because that has happened before, where swings can kind of get altered by the All-Star home run derby, and then it might take a player a month or two to kind of figure out his rhythm again and find his strike point again, right? This does happen a lot. Mechanics can get tweaked with during the All-Star break, during the home run derby. So, and it's about, a lot of this is about mechanics, right? Release point for pitchers, mechanics and swing level for hitters, right? Pivot points for hitters. So, a lot of this stuff is mechanical and timing based. You can't muscle your way through a 99 mile an hour fastball. If you can hit Paul Skeens, more power to you. Doesn't mean you can hit him good, right? Because he's got nasty stuff. Tarek Skubal, nasty stuff. Cam Schlittler, nasty stuff. Well, guess what? He did get hit twice by 2 Seattle Mariners who hit home runs. Not even Rowley. 2 of his other guys. So, was it Jorge Polanco, maybe their leadoff hitter? Is it J.P. Crawford, I think? So, you never know who's going to hit. This is why this stuff is so important. Release point mechanics and all this stuff. All right. Big, what's going on? Roy, what's up? What's going on? Buenos dias. Good morning, y'all. I think the only way they move Spencer Jones, if it's for a package for a player with controllable years, that's a good player with controllable years. Otherwise, it makes zero sense. I like Eugenio Suarez, believe me, I do. But what are you going to trade? Why Spencer Jones? They have a ton of outfielders there. They don't even need an outfielder, the Diamondbacks. Right? So, unless you're going to flip him in another trade for something else, but so I would give him Peraza and Roderick Arias and some pitching or something like that. Here's your guy that can step in for Suarez right now. Here's your developmental player that can come in behind Peraza, who can play multiple positions, who's also a switch hitter. So, to me, Roderick Arias is expendable now with all the shortstops that they drafted. And I think he's blocked by George Lombard Jr. anyway. So, but Arias, I think, is 19 now. When they signed him internationally, he was 16. And he was the #1 international prospect at the time. Just like Juan Diazagen, and this is the other thing too. A 16-year-old from the Dominican Republic who's the #1 international prospect now. The Yankees are the favorites to sign him to. He's also a shortstop. So that's another shortstop they're going to be bringing in. So something at some point, and this is what happens too. When you have a deep pipeline of catchers, there's talks about J.C. Escar, which is going on right now. There's a good chance that the Yankees trading J.C. Escar. When you have a deep pipeline of shortstops, they're going to become, some of them are going to be involved in trade talks, right? That's the whole point of trading from surplus, trading from depth, so you can address positions of need, right? So, and again, who's the shortstop? It's not Ketel Marte in the Diamondbacks. I think he's their second baseman, right? I don't even know who their shortstop is. No, or third baseman. Don't even, well, Suarez is their third baseman, obviously, but if he gets traded, hopefully it's to the Yankees. But hopefully it's, but again, I would be willing to pay a little bit of a lesser package just to have Suarez. I don't need Suarez and Zach Gallen, Suarez and Merrill Kelly. I'll take Suarez by himself and try to get a pitcher elsewhere in a separate trade. If that's going to be the requirement to trade Spencer Jones or Cam Schlittler, I pass on that. I'll just pivot to Ke'Bryan Hayes at that point, right? But obviously, we don't know what the Yankees' main objective is when trading for a third baseman. Is it because they need a bat? And again, he provides a perfect bat to the middle of the lineup, which makes it easier to play Jason Dominguez at the top of the lineup and not have to move him. We don't have that right now. So for those that are constantly blaming Boone about the changing of the lineups, that's a reason why. He has no choice. He has to find reps for Ben Rice. If you want to trade Ben Rice, he needs reps, right? If you want to trade some of these other guys, Trent Grisham, he needs reps. So it's hard fitting in a lot of these guys. And it's a good problem to have depth, but again, there's a trade-off. And that's some players are not going to get as much playing time as we like for them to have, right? So that's the whole point of making trades too, multiple player trades. And I do think one of these trades that Cashman makes will be a multiplayer trade. I don't know what the hell it's going to be, but I'm definitely of the sentiment that it's going to be that. All right. Hello. Anthony. Yeah, Anthony, so I'm actually going to recap. I'm going to be live on NFE's channel, Strike Zone, 10:30. We're going to recap some of the draft, and I'll have Jonathan here with me most likely tomorrow. We're going to recap the entire draft. But just to summarize it quickly, the Yankees had 19 picks. 17 of them were college players, right? 1 JUCO, 1 high school player. Of those players, 6 of them were shortstops. So 5 of them college shortstops, okay? And 1 high school shortstop. And again, that high school shortstop, Dax Kilby, number 39, was their first pick overall. He's apparently, I'm already hearing that he's very likely going to be moved to second base at some point. His long-term projection is going to be at second base because he lacks the shoulder strength to be picking and throwing deep from shortstop. Unless that's something he addresses, but he also has a very polished lefty bat. He was also one of the more polished high school bats. So we got him from lefty side. He also got Keenan Kent, who was their number 2 pick. Another shortstop from Texas A&M, who's the son of Jeff Kent. Okay? And they also picked, I forgot his name, Mark Grudelazanek's son. His name Bryce Martin Grudelazanek. I think he was their 20th pick overall last night, the last pick of the draft for them. Son of former major leaguer good infielder Mark Grudelazanek. So they picked 2 sons of former major leaguers. So it looked like not a flashy draft at all, but a quality draft, a draft littered with versatility and experience. And again, drafting, a lot of the guys they drafted in high school were juniors and seniors, meaning their path to the majors is probably closer than these young high school players, right? So that was the layout of the draft. I'm going to break it down. Like I was doing breakdowns yesterday, like every 5 rounds. I was putting out shorts on who the picks were. But I'll be live with Jonathan, most likely tomorrow, to go over, break down all the picks, give you perspective on it. And I want us time to be able to do our homework and kind of look into the picks. So, Beagle's in the house. What's up? Michael, what's going on, Michael? I think, I don't know who the starting pitcher is going to be, But if I had to prioritize a starting pitcher or relievers, I'm picking relievers. Relievers, I'll take 2 really good relievers and a third baseman. So, we already talked about the teams they could probably make multiplayer trades with, but most of the starting pitchers that are available, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2, like Mitch Keller from the Pirates, they're all going to be rentals. So they're all free agents at the end of this year. So, I mean, Volpe is probably feeling the pressure a little bit. And again, he could use these 5 days, All-Star break, to kind of just recharge and maybe work on some stuff. So hopefully he takes advantage of this downtime to work on some things. But, I mean, I wonder what he's thinking after the Yankees drafted 6 shortstops. Like, oh my God, they drafted all these shortstops. I don't know what their objective is. I'm not going to claim to speak for them. That's like nobody can. So, I don't know if this, we don't have really a third baseman. Some of these guys are going to be moved to third base. Or Keenan Kent's he plays multiple infielders. He could be our first baseman in the future. Maybe, potentially, if we trade Ben Rice or whatever. If we sell high on Ben Rice. Because, even John Heyman, even though I do not hold this man as gospel, he even said that a rival exec around baseball told him that the Yankees are going to do something big. Now, that's all he said. A rival exec told him. It's not like he, the Arson Judge signed with the Giants for blah, 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 which didn't happen. I said, a prediction that didn't materialize. He said that a rival exec told him that the Yankees are going to do something big. Obviously, he didn't mention who the rival exec was. I don't expect him to. But we'll see if that happens or not. I don't know. But, the more days we go without deals being made, the crazier the trade deadline day is going to be. And I'll be live on trade deadline day for a chunk of the day. So everything that comes in, you'll be getting a live time. That's going to be fun. Yeah, I mean, in the meantime, Volpe's staying. I'd be astonishingly shocked if they traded him, which I don't think they're going to do. He's going to be their shortstop until they make an action that says otherwise. And this is not something they say is going to happen. They're just going to replace him. Okay? They don't give people material to run their mouths with. They just make the move, and then they deal with the reactions later. You notice now, Brian Cashman, and they do not give people material to run with, okay, and create their own ridiculous talking points and narratives, right? They're not going to do that. They just make the moves and deal with the repercussions later. Yeah, look. Yeah, people are chanting about J-Ram, but the chances of him being... I love J-Ram, but he will cost Lombard or Dominguez or Jones. Just know that now. He will cost. And if you want him and Clase, it's going to cost 2 of them. Just know that now. Okay? They're not going to get him for Volpe and Peraza. That's not going to happen. Ever. Okay? Nice. Beagle getting that walk in, baby. I'm not a Volpe hater. I understand Volpe's still a developmental player. There are things he's strong at. There are things he's not strong at. I'm right down the middle with Anthony Volpe. But he plays the game hard. It's not for lack of trying. Gleyber Torres' problem last year was lack of trying and not staying mentally focused. Volpe makes mistakes, but it's not because he's not focused. Okay? That's the difference between him and Gleyber Torres. As much as people say, oh, look at Gleyber Torres now. He's playing in an environment with no pressure, so he's playing better. He was clearly, unfortunately, not suited to play for the Yankees. Unfortunately. So I wish him well, no matter where he goes. That's my take on Volpe. All right. Get that congratulations, Beagle. I got the new puppy on. But yeah, let him take you for walks. Let him do it, man. And speaking of walks, I'm going to get inside now. But just want to give you my take, gang. I want to thank you for joining me this morning, too. Go have a great day. I got to go get 3 kids ready for camp. Let's go, Yankees.